Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We're wishing you a happy new year, a bright, healthy, happy new year. And we are going to be going strong here today. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question. And that really sort of looks at what do you do when you are in a family system where you are co-parenting with a covert narcissist or someone who is very absent, who is not forthright, who is not accountable, who sort of gets out of things? They get away with sort of not really being a good role model. And because of this sort of deficit, even though the parent does not really care, or I don't want to say they're not taking their role of parent seriously, but sometimes there are personality traits in individuals which really enable them a pathological sense of self-importance, and coupled with a lack of empathy, which means really the pathological sense of self-importance, which means whatever they need, want, will get. So they will not veer from this goal for themselves, even if others might be requiring of their attention. To a narcissist, they don't need to stoop, bow their head, go there and sort of reduce what they would consider, I would say, reduce themselves because they are uncomfortable with certain responsibilities, certain dirty work, certain low level, what you might consider the mundane, the normal, common sense, something of this nature. They just, and oftentimes to a pathological sense of withdrawal, remaining aloof, indifferent, not present. Yet there is no accountability. So, and if you've got this going on then with a teenager, and then because of this, they are then mirroring this behavior, and then they are now acting out, which means you don't feel that you have any sort of control or leverage in the situation or open realm of communication. There's too much hurt. There's too much rage. There's blowing up. That is not a very strong foundation to discuss things. It's very difficult, oftentimes for teenagers in general, who are sort of rebellious and trying to find their own identity. That's really what all this sort of emotional explosiveness and like lava-like hurtful, I would say, phase of life that all teenagers go through, some smoother than others. But if there is an issue, I would say with a family system where a child's role model is absent, there's a dysfunction, there's some substance abuse, there's a personality disorder, which removes them from being nurturing, present, warm, affectionate, being able to communicate and have a healthy attachment. So the parent, who of course is the more mature person who is bringing the child into the world, they're going to create this connection, this bond. And if there is alcohol involved, if there's personality issues involved, then that is going to become blurred or non-existent. The structure that is required doesn't get structured. The foundation, we do this here, we do that there, does not get imprinted. There is no foundation. There is no shared communication, heart to heart, belly to belly, which is required with children and parents. They have to be able to bring out and satisfy the needs and direct and guide a child who's, 0 through 7, they can't run their show. If the parent is absent, though, they might acknowledge this and then become a peacemaker, a truth teller, someone who's saying, wait, this is not working. This is awry. This could create a weakness and leave me exposed, i.e. without food, water, shelter. We're talking and then, belonging, which is, love. But, if there's a feeling of a lack of providership or ability to be self-sustaining, if this is cause for fear, uncertainty, there's too much of this, the child will then take this absence as an attack. and they will be living in that fight or flight mode. They will be very reactive. They'll be explosive because they're not taught how to manage what they're feeling and identify it and go, man, I really need this now and I don't have it, rather than articulating that and then coming to their parent, this, and then instead, you might see then, I think this viewer had mentioned that there's ridicule of the parent as well. Realizing when there's ridicule of a parent, it's because there is a deficit in that parent of presence. They're not able to face a certain tough emotional or energetic relationship hurdle. They're not able to be there and then comfort the child, direct the child, help them with decision making, executive decision, focus, and all these sort of experiences. If they're, there's so many labels now, attention deficit disorder, conduct disorder, operational defiant disorder, autism, on this, you can have a lot of these different things, but you're dealing, holistically. That's how I look at things with a child. You're looking at the big picture and realize that the school system is oftentimes going to penalize if you don't have focus and the ability to self-navigate and self-soothe and identify your own emotions. So if you don't have that work done at home, when the child shows up in public or at school or a friend's house, they're feeling that they're missing something, but they're not going to usually walk in the door in tears, I'm missing this, I'm scared. Especially a boy, they're going to overreact, they're going to overcompensate and just be like, I can do this, and then they'll show who's got control, especially control over their body, and control over objects, what they can break. So it's a need. It's kind of like a reactive need for control, authority, acknowledgement, and validation, where their own I am is come into question. So realize that all of this is sort of trying to say I need some shape from within. So they're having trouble locating that internal locus of control. That comes with time. That comes with rhythm, repetition, and experience. So consistency. So you can begin, especially in the new year, begin sort of a new normalcy for this child. I'm not quite sure their age at the teenage years, but this children need to have a vision. As well as, they have to have a positive mindset to begin to be receptive. So if they're not receptive to change, i.e., this is bad, that's bad, and then like they said, maybe the child is making fun of the parent, that is because the parent has not been able to step up and show them adequately what that child feels that they need to survive. So it's an existential level where if these rules have not been followed, so children will really, if a parent says one thing but does another, the child is not gonna then listen to the parent. They're going, oh, that's just what they're saying. That's not what they do. So I'm not gonna respect that person because it creates cognitive dissonance. They do something else. In other words, if the parent says, be nice to others, and then they smack you right across the face, and blow you into oblivion, there's going to be some cognitive dissonance. You're going to create a very a fearful and chaotic internal environment where you see this acting out. You see the children doing drugs, doing alcohol, doing whatever, operational defiant behavior. They're trying to, they are losing, they don't have the direction, but they're going off of some other societal need to survive. So, the theft or vandalism or breaking of rules, they're trying to create a reality where there is some authority. And so sometimes lack of authority is the authority. So things will run amok. So this is, realize it's a difficult patch, but things will get better. Realize that sometimes that child needs to be subtly guided With especially, I would say for this situation, with if you're co-parenting through a covert narcissist, that male child, teenager needs a positive role model that they're able to draw forth within. In other words, hey, let's, either to decorate your room, or, weren't you going to pick out something? And so giving them something, starting a new tradition that helps them relate to this, bringing up very cool, calm, collected communication. Someone who you might feel is a good role model, someone you might see in the media. And, but you might have very difficult communication. Realize that, if there's so much hurt, and that the child is probably not able to listen. They're not able to take in. It's too painful. So you have to be able to calm that rage. And so sometimes, that internal environment is not a good temperature. So they might need medication to help that. They might need to go to their primary care doctor, get a physical, see what sort of medication, if this has been tried or not, I'm not sure. But you have to look at some sort of, realize that these are some growing pains. And to help navigate these is to create as much support as possible and a positive role model as possible, and sort of showing in extolling values, but they might not want to listen right now. So because if they have you sort of people, they will sort of make their rules, and these are the people that I act out against and don't listen to. So realize if that's their camp, then you need to reframe it and say, you know what, they're looking to start fresh. They're looking to pave a path. They're looking to be a leader in their own right. And so, then, this is in the positive, so where are they truly a champion? Where can they, become a discovery? Where can they be taught to foster a positive sense of self, but it's going to have that sort of rebellious side as well. So it has to be done very gently and with a way to empower, that gives them, again, but it has to be their choice. So you can't put the mold on. It has to be their choice. So you have to develop a very slow, percussive, gentle rhythm of communication that comes across differently for, perhaps how you have come across before. So all previous attempts, all the water under the bridge, the all the previous discussion, it's kind of like a big vat of muck that you don't want to draw from anymore. You kind of have to throw out the baby with the bathwater, or whatever that statement is,